It's episode 5 and we're searching for the beach in Alice and Borderland. Welcome back, guys, to Fog Entertainment, and we continue to bring you Asian TV series. Why? Because America won't make anything that's fucking half decent, so we have to watch this crap and bring this crap to you on a daily basis. But we are back with Alice and Borderland, and up to this point I have enjoyed this series, although I do feel in this episode the entire series takes a major swing. I feel like I'm going from watching one thing to a completely different thing. I feel like you if you're watching a TV channel and you're watching a movie, it kind of feels like you get halfway through the movie here and they just turn the channel to a different movie. This felt incredibly weird.
It feels like we've skipped 2 seasons into the future, but in reality it was about 10 minutes of episode time.
I felt like we went from a kind of Squid Game Saw type universe, and then we just go into like a Dead Light, Far Cry kind of universe within the space of like 2 minutes. So we start the episode with Arisu and Usagi. They are just basically on the hunt. They are searching. They're continuing to live after surviving the last game. I guess they're growing together. They're becoming more acquainted with each other. They're growing some trust. They begin to feel like they're a real partnership. And they decide to keep an eye on some of the other games. They're looking at players entering the games, and they notice that some players all appear to have the same sort of tags on their wrists.
Wee wristband things. So
after a while, they keep an eye on these people, and they follow them. The people take off after the game's in their car. But, so they try and follow them. They kind of see where they're going, and then they seem to come across the beach. But before they can do anything about the beach, they finally found the beach, and then the next minute they get attacked from behind.
Kidnapped. Good night.
And masked. And the next minute they wake up, and they are in some sort of room with this madman called Hater. And he explains...
It's more Hatter.
Oh, I think it was called Hater.
I'll go with Hatter.
But Hatter, whatever you want to call him, don't be a hater, confirms that they have found the beach, and that the beach is where they all live, and that... Then he shows like this map of cards, and he reveals that they have to collect every single card in the deck, and if they can do that, that will allow just one person to leave this universe, to leave this island, to leave this country, whatever this thing is, this alternative universe.
But how does he know this?
Well, they've came to, I guess that's the conclusion they've came to. And then
for all we fucking know, they could do this, and then it's just, oh no, I mean, it could just be... So
you have to collect one of each card, and then one person gets to go home, and then you have to go and collect more duplicates and collect them all over again, so a second person can go home, and so on and so forth. And I'm thinking, holy shit, how long is it going to take to get everybody who's on this beach home? I don't think it's going to happen.
And by the end, like, say you get halfway through, you're going to be missing half of the players who could help you get it.
He says there is 3 rules of Beach Club. Can you name them?
Swimsuits.
Don't talk about Beach Club. Swimsuits only, because you cannot conceal guns, even though you could easily put one down your trunks. But
how can you not hide one in the house coat? House coats are big.
I'd say so.
But he seems to think, oh fuck, no, you can't do that. I think the guy's just off his fucking melon.
Yeah, he says that no betraying. You have to keep the cards that you earn go towards the beach, and that's pretty much it. And only the...
He also reveals that the face cards are yet to make an appearance, like your jokers, your queens, and your kings. Will they eventually? Maybe once they get this new card or the final card, then they make an appearance.
Maybe.
And then maybe if you get a king or a queen, you can get sent home. But if you get a joker, you die or something.
Maybe. So then Hater says that they're all going out tonight to participate in more games. They don't have that many cards to find. I believe at this stage there's like 5 different cards that they need to find to complete the entire deck. Obviously not including the face cards. So they go out. Hatter though, first he introduces them to like the members, the executives I guess, of the beach. And we get introduced to a brand new whole list of characters. And I think we needed that because... before going into this episode, we essentially had 2 main characters, and that was it. So now we've got a bunch of characters, a bunch of leads, a bunch of names. I don't know any of the names yet, but we've got a bunch of them. And, so we get introduced to them all. It lets us know that there is a military team that are, look after the beach, and they keep the beach safe.
And that is the guy who was in episode 2.
Umani, who makes an appearance later on, and they're the only ones that like to carry guns. Doesn't seem a bit fair. But he encourages them to go out and have fun and party, because it could be the last night of their earth. I don't know if this guy's on drugs or on alcohol, but he's definitely on something, man. He's too happy for a guy that could literally walk into a game tomorrow night and die.
Exactly, and that could very well happen to the big man.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if half these people on the beach don't want to go home.
I know.
They seem like having a fucking good life, don't they?
There's there is rules, but I mean, it's better than having to play the odd game that's piss easy.
Yep. So then they go and they're playing a game. Arisu's in the game. One of Hatter's henchwomen, or one of the fucking elite people at the beach, has joined them. And it turns out it's a test. It was like they were in this like underground kind of facility that was filling up with water.
Definitely looks like Saw.
There was like a light bulb in this other room, and there was like 3 switches, and he had to figure out which switch turned the light bulb on. But you could only pull down the switches when the door was closed. The water is rising. If the water gets to a certain level, they'll all be electrocuted. One of the women in the game room just touches the electric thing and dies straight away.
Fucking
that takes
idiot.
the numbers down from 7 to 6. It appears the executive knows what the answer is or how to do it, but they're testing Arisu here because Hatter can see potential in him. And just when it looks like they're all about to die, you've only got one attempt. It was actually cool the way they introduced the game, like they went over the rules, and it was a cool wee intro to the game. But we ain't going to give you a cool description because we would fuck it right up. Essentially, he figures out with about 10 seconds to go that it is...
I'm surprised it took him so long. Actually, thinking of it, it was simple enough.
It is lever A. He pulls it down. He tells him to touch it. Because the bulb was hot, even though the door was closed, because the bulb was hot, he knew that was the correct one.
Because if it was cold, it would have been C, because B didn't turn on.
Yep, so there you go. Pretty smart if you... But, I mean, you're saying that you're surprised he didn't realise that. I mean, I think you've got to take into consideration that it's a life or death situation. Plus, there's a lot of brain dead bastards. I know a guy called Robert who would never knew that in a million years.
I think this is a lot simpler than the first game where you had to work out the fucking dimensions of the building and work out, alright, this is where the door is.
Right, well, I'm going to put Robert over here. He gets 10 hours. Can he complete this game?
You could give him 10 years. And he had to touch the electricity current, fried the buggery. Right,
so anyway, then he gets them. So they get the card, they go back. It shows you all the other players from the island participating in games. The one thing I fucking hated big time about this episode was you got Umani, and or Ugani, whatever the fuck he's called. He's out participating in one of the games. He is approached by a lion. He's got a hand pistol, some sort of gun. He shoots the lion multiple times. I've got no issues if that kills the lion. But the lion then runs towards him and jumps at him. And he punches the lion, and it sends the lion like flying about 2 feet away from him. That just wouldn't happen. I mean, there's no way if a full-grown lion is jumping and pounces at you, you punching it is not going to fucking send it flying opposite direction.
I mean, he's big, but he's not big.
No,
big.
If a lion runs and pounces at you, you're on your back and you're getting your throat out. I can buy the guy that had the big samurai, because you could argue if he times it correctly, yes, you could you could obviously slice through the lion.
Yeah.
But Ugani here, putting a bunch of bullets into the lion, if that kills it, fair enough. But then it jumps at him, and he defeats it with a single punch.
And he was getting overpowered by that guy in episode 2.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just not... To me, that reminded me of some, like, Marvel shit, and I've no interest in seeing any of that. I like realism. That wasn't realistic. Hopefully...
He didn't have to get his throat bit out, but because, like, say, it still jumped at him. So say it was even dead when it hit him, it would still be all that weight hitting you.
Yeah, that's what... No, but that lion jumping at him, he falls back.
Exactly.
He doesn't punch it, and the lion fucking flies.
And it's not like it's a small... I mean, even if a dog jumps at you like that and you fucking punch it, you'd still fucking go back a bit. But this is a tiger.
Do you think if Jake jumped up at you like that and you punched him, you're going to send him 2 feet the opposite direction?
No.
Absolutely no chance, and this is a full-grown tiger. Or lion even, so yeah, I didn't like that. And then they all get back to the beach, they've all participated in games, they hand over the new cards that they found. The game that Arisu participated in was a new card, and it turns out that the only card for them to collect is the Ten of Hearts.
It's just the Ten of Hearts.
Hater then says his visa expires tonight. He's pissed. He's giving Arisu alcohol. Arisu thinks he's going to poison him, and Harter's like, no, here, I'll drink it. I'll drink all the alcohol. And he drinks every last drop like a guy that we know. Stevie. Aye.
No, that's Stevie,
no,
but
that's
aye.
Stevie, no, that's Stevie. And then the episode ends with Hatter preparing to go out on a run. We also had a confrontation between Ugani and Arisu on the beach. Ugani was amazed that Arisu was the one that survived between his friends and not Harubi. He seemed disappointed. They went, your friend sucks. Your friend died. Well. He wanted to take the girl, but Arisu actually fucking stood up. I didn't think it was smart because I thought he was about to die. But he actually, showed a spine. So we've got to congratulate that. We've got to respect that, even though it was a bit stupid. But before anything could happen, Hatter comes and have a standoff between Hatter and Ugani.
There's tension in the group.
And it proves that Hatter is indeed the guy that runs things here, because Ugani tells his men to step down. But that's essentially everything that happened in this episode. I mean, it was a good episode and I liked it, but it did feel massively different from the four. That it did feel like a different show altogether. It did take a big
we missed
direction.
the season.
Yeah, this did not feel like what would seem in the previous 4 episodes. But I don't think it was bad. We'll see how it goes on from here. But at the same time, probably my least favourite episode so far of the season.
I'm expecting a game where a lot of people die.
But yeah, I'm going to give it a 6. I don't think it was bad.
I'll give it a 5.
Well, one of us is fucking racist.
I gave the last one a 6 and this was worse, so how can I give it a 6?
Racism running wild.
Fucking 5.5. Do the math. Next up, 6. Till then, peace.
Hey, you can be racist against you as long as it's not black people that
Who says I'm being racist?
I'm kidding on you, too.
I know. Fuck the Tigers. No surrender.